Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon, and sorry about the background noise. I have my window open because it's a really nice breeze out today. And yeah, I'm pretty sick right now because I caught a cold recently, so it's unfortunate, but hey, I'm managing the best way I can. So this is for Erra's new record, Cure, that I got a chance to check out for myself to see what I was going to think of this record overall. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 12 tracks, which is 48 and a half minutes of an album. And I'll let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive right into this album review. It starts with the opening track, Cure, the title track. I think this was one of my favorites. JTKV's vocals or screaming vocals are outstanding. Jesse Cash's clean vocals were a bit monotone for the track, but still delivered for how it sounded. It just took quite a while to get used to this song, and I did get used to it, and in a good way because I really enjoyed this track. Jesse Cash actually had his, I don't know what it is, but his vocals were a little toned down for this record. There were some songs where he did sound really good, which I will be explaining about those tracks in just a moment as the review goes on. But still, the second single, Cure, was actually one of my favorites, so great title track, great way to start the record, 5 out of 5. Rumor of Light was a pretty good song too. JTKV starts the song with his screaming vocals, and it sounds really amazing. And Jesse Cash's clean vocals were pretty good. Just took a little bit of time to get used to the monotone singing, and in the background he was actually really singing, and I was really impressed because I thought he couldn't hit those notes because I think the last album might have vocally exhausted him vocally with his vocals, so I think he might have strained a muscle or something. Something happened. Sorry about that background noise. That's a four-wheeler going by. So, pretty much 5 out of 5 for Rumor of Light. I really like the lyrics and the way the song's structurally playing out. It sounds really good. Idle Wild, Isle Wild, I believe is how you pronounce it. Great track. Jesse Cash's vocals were quite outstanding in this track. I was really impressed with it. And just overall, the mixing, the production, JTKV's screaming vocals in the verses were pretty outstanding. So this song meshed up pretty well. It mashed pretty well and combined both screaming vocals and clean vocals in a more very well executed way, and I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Blue Reverie, pretty much, I think this track was very monotone with Jesse Cash's vocals. JTKV still gave it his all with his screaming vocals, and I was really impressed with that. But Jesse Cash's vocals were a little toned down for this track, but I still think it worked as the third single for the record. So pretty much 5 out of 5. Slow Sour Bleed. I did do a track review for this a couple hours ago. Definitely go check out that quick track review. I think you'll enjoy it. Slow Sour Bleed was very experimental of a track with the electronics. They tried to do something similar to Heresy, the Nine Inch Nails cover that they covered on their last self-titled record. And off the bat, off that deluxe edition for the self-titled was quite amazing. This track was really good, one of my personal favorites. Really enjoy it before you get to the interlude track, which we'll talk about the interlude track in a second. So pretty much 5 out of 5 for Slow Sour Bleed. Pretty strong track, and I really enjoyed it. Wish is a solid song, not one of my favorites. It's only a minute and 25 seconds of a interlude of a track going into the next song, Glimpse, which off the bat, I think Wish could have been something a little more interesting to make it a little over 50 minutes of an album, but it's an interlude track. It's got some pretty ominous mixing, weird mixing with the melody and all that, but still structurally, it somewhat works. So 4.5 out of 5. Glimpse was a great track. I really enjoyed this song for how it sounded, and Jesse Cash's vocals were pretty outstanding, and he's actually trying to use his vocals with this track, but there's some monotone moments from time to time with his vocals in this song, but JTKV gave it his all with his screaming vocals, and that's what really was the highlight for the track. So 5 out of 5. Past Life, Persona, great song. Jesse Cash's monotone, clean vocals sound really good. Even in the background, he does a little bit of high-pitched singing from time to time, but he tries to not strain his voice too much, and that's where I think the problem lies, where he can't really hit those notes, so he's just playing it a little safe and trying to sing what he knows he can sing, the range he can sing, so that's fine, and it still worked, the track did, and JTKV coming in the second half of the song with his scream vocals still performed very well, so 5 out of 5. Crawl Backwards Out of Heaven, great song, really enjoyed this track. It is the 4th single for the record. Slow Sour Bleed is the 5th, but technically it shouldn't be a single because the album's going to be out at midnight tonight. But still, great song. JTKV's screaming vocals were quite outstanding for this track, and it was instrumentally amazing, guitar-wise and drum work-wise. And Jesse Cash's monotone vocals in the background sound good, along with JTKV's screaming vocals backing him up when they're saying "Crawl Backwards Out of Heaven" lyrics and all that. So this track was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5. End to Excess, great song. Really enjoyed this track for how it sounded, and Jesse Cash's vocals were quite amazing in this song. He really could hit that range, and I was like, did not think he could do it, but pretty impressive. I was very impressed with this track, and it's one of my favorites too. And JTKV's screaming vocals were outstanding as well, so 5 out of 5. Pale Iris was the first single for this record back in late August it came out, and it is still an amazing banger of a track. And I really enjoyed JTKV's screaming vocals and just the way the song's executing flawlessly with just the mixing, the drum work, the guitar work. This song impressed me, and it's the second to last song before we get to the closing track. So 5 out of 5. Wave is the closing track, and off the bat, it's a favorite of mine. It's a pretty good closing track. It's a little different of a closing track that I'm not really used to with Erra, but it still impressed me, this track. So this is a great song, and a great way to end the album with this closing track. So 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I found myself thinking Erra Cure's new record, the album Cure, was a little bit of a step down from the self-titled, but it's still pretty strong of a record in its own way. And it's a really good record. I will say that. It's really good. And musicality-wise, it's amazing with the mixing, the production, and just screams from JTKV and Jesse Cash's clean vocals sound quite amazing in this track. And don't mind the train in the background. There's a train noise in the background because I live near a train tracks and all that. So pretty much, if I were to give this record an overall score, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Give me a second, gotta pause the video. Sorry about that, guys. My phone was ringing. I had someone calling me, my mom. So she needed something from me, so I gotta finish this review up. So with that being said, 9.5 out of 10 for Erra's new record, Cure. I was really impressed with this record, as I knew I was going to be. This is one of the highlighted albums I've listened to for the start of April. And a great album to start the second quarter off. So, pretty strong record. So, 9.5 out of 10 for Erra's new album, Cure. Hopefully you enjoyed this album review. Sorry about my nasally and congested voice. It's just going through a cold, and I'm trying to get better. So I'm going to most likely be sleeping it off the rest of the day, or try to get another review out if I can. If not, don't expect one until tomorrow or the next day. But with that being said, you guys have a good rest of your afternoon, and thanks for watching this album review.